That Will was out there.
Yeah, I think we went to grab one. There it is. You got your notes?
Yep.
Right now. Let the record show that no action was taken in closed session. And pursuant to our discussion in closed session, I will need a motion to increase the bargaining unit from 15 to 17, including the front office staff and office manager at the sheriff's department.
I'll make the motion.
Wagner,
I'll second.
Carter second. Any more discussion on that? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Motion carried. I would also need a motion to sign the public unit bargaining unit proposal tomorrow. I have a motion by Plath, do I have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Wagner, any discussion on that? Hearing none, all those in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Motion carried unanimous, and tomorrow I'll stop in and sign that. And that should take care of everything, Tom, correct? You think of anything else?
Nope.
1 o'clock?
Could somebody ask Will, I don't know if he can hear me, what's the best way for me to get him this, corrected stipulation of bargaining unit?
Email it to me.
He
Can you give me your email?
W. Stricker.
Well, maybe you already have it.
Well, if you can't, email it to the auditor and he can pick it up at the auditor's office.
Okay, sounds good.
She's not here.
I think you did give me your email, Will, so,
Well, if not, we'll get it to you.
okay. Sounds good.
Let's make sure we get his email address to Renee. Thank you, Renee. Are we done?
I think we're done, so I'll get this, and then Will, you can just take it from there, and then file this new one with Herb, and we should be all good to go.
Okay.
Thanks, Renee.
Thanks, Renee. Appreciate
Thank
it.
you. Bye-bye.
Yep. You guys got anything else?
Whole lot of questions, but guess that'll be another day.
Well, we don't have any answers.
I know, that's why I said it'd be another day.
Now, need to jump around. Are you catching up?
Yep.
Yep.
Okay.
We have next on our agenda, decision to approve resolution and sign waiver with Floyd, Emmett, Butler, Bremer, Alters, Convey, and Iowa Utilities Board pipeline permit proceedings. Who has information, anybody?
Mahler's and Cooney.
What's that?
I was looking through the stuff in the packet and it looks like this is for the Navigator pipeline.
Correct. But let me get caught up here.
Yeah, let's hope we don't have to use them. $350 an hour, $470 an hour, $220 an hour, $355 an hour.
Yeah, it was something that.
We add up real fast.
Oh, yeah.
Tammy was a contact, she's not here, so Melissa, what do you know? So this is our contract with them?
Correct.
Well, I guess one of the things I was gonna say is I don't know if it's a great idea to do this because everything that we'd probably be potentially fighting on with Navigator is already gonna be tried with Summit before that, so I think we'd be better off to let it go and see what happens with Summit, cause they're gonna be the same arguments on both sides, and Navigator's obviously later. in the timeline.
Is that a consensus of the board? It goes through your territory, Stecker.
Yeah, I know, and I don't think it's worth the price tag that they got listed out there as Jack rattled off. There's pretty high dollar figures, and I don't think it's a good use of funds for that, so.
Well, I tend to agree with you because really the decision's going to be up to the state and whether they let eminent domain do anything or not. And what we do with this one's gonna have little effect on the outcome.
Yeah, I mean, all the potential battles will be already fought by the time that comes up. So I think we'll have our answers before we get to this point.
Problem is if we say no to this today, are we gonna be able to rejoin this at a later date if it's needed? That's my only thought is
Probably not.
probably not, right?
Is there a deadline on it?
I did not see a deadline on it, but at the same token, I'd say from all the conversations we've had, Navigator's 6 months plus behind Summit, so depending on the proposed or potential changes at the state level and all the court battles that'll happen with Summit's project before that, I think everything will be ironed out with the topic in general before this comes up.
The whole thing's gonna boil down to the state. If they allow eminent domain, it's over with them. If they don't allow eminent domain, then they're done. But I don't think it's gonna matter a lot what the counties do. It's gonna depend on whether or not the state and the governor signs eminent domain. That's really that's what everybody's waiting on now.
I don't wanna go through 2 court battles with attorneys for the same,
Potentially $1,000 an hour.
for the same really thing. I think.
Exactly, and I think it'll all be fought by then anyway, so you'll have precedent from the first one, no matter whether we like it or not, we'll already have the answer.
Yeah, I think our taxpayers in our county would have a fit. We spend too much money on attorneys on both of them.
If it's comparable to the one that you're already involved in, it will be prorated back if you sign up at a later date, so you wouldn't be out anything by waiting if it's the same situation.
Yeah. So.
You'd probably put your head fighting at the beginning,
And
you know what I
according to
mean?
John Torbett, it sounds like they'll be making a decision on eminent domain within the
Fairly
next
soon.
month or two.
Well, yeah, I get
Because the legislators will be out for spring.
Yeah.
By May,
They're starting, they're ready to text me and saying they oppose giving them eminent domain, so they're thinking about it strongly.
Right.
Yeah, and this has nothing to do with Summit's project at all.
Correct.
So,
I would need a motion of some sort on what you wanna do with this. Being that,
I would make a motion to not sign the joint agreement.
I have a motion by Mr. Stecker not to sign the agreement. Do I-
I'll second.
Second by Wactor. Discussion, yeah, go ahead.
If you tabled that, would that give you the opportunity to join later if need be, or it doesn't matter? Just a question.
there's a thought. Well, can you postpone it? But you're with other counties, right?
And on, but I don't,
There's no expiration date on
yeah.
the contract.
I don't really see a benefit in tabling it because at the end of the day, the projects are still that far apart. So like I said, I think we're gonna have answers a long time before Summit's ever gets to that point. Or Navigator gets to that point because Summit will already be decided.
And
Well, I think the whole thing hinges right now on the state's decision.
Right,
on eminent domain. If they pass eminent domain, I don't know if any of us have a chance to stop it.
They do have a sentence in there that says if you disagree or otherwise believe anything herein is incorrect or mistaken in any way, please let us know as soon as possible. We will only be able to represent the counties in the matter of all counties, all in the agreement regarding this limited representation. So they're not gonna represent us if you don't sign it, which is what we're saying.
Yeah.
So,
But the thing that isn't, those other counties are represented, they're gonna be spending, they'll be spending their money on it, and it doesn't make a difference whether we're in it or not, because they'll spend thousands of dollars litigating it, and if they stop it, it's gonna be stopped in our county too, so.
somebody tell me, we've never agreed to anything with this in the past or even talked to this attorney firm.
No.
We haven't had nothing to do with them, so it's not like we're misleading anybody. Am I correct in that?
I believe so.
I mean, you haven't talked to him, have you, Kyle?
Kyle's not with us anymore. My tablet decided to restart and it killed the meeting, so just
Okay.
without warning restarted on me, so.
It's essentially in Kyle's district, so I guess,
Let me get him back on here.
Well, I'm gonna say I haven't heard a lot of opposition up there compared to south.
I think probably because they're not as far along as in the process, which is.
I know, the service decided to just restart. It's coming back up here, so give me a minute, yeah. Yep. I just looked down and it just said restarting, so. Yeah, we're still just kind of discussing it, so Roger did have a question for you, so give me just a second here.
We got the wrong job, you know, I
Be
think
there?
we charge you $350, $450.
Yeah, I'm here now.
Yeah, Mr. Stecker, you never had any conversation with this law firm on the Navigator?
No, I did not.
And we've never had any in the boardroom in my recollection, correct?
No, so I don't think this applies to anything that we've talked about, cause yeah, I did not request this, I'm assuming they sent it just because of the one we have with Summit,
Okay.
but I have not requested this from them for Navigator or anything, nope.
That concludes any of my questions. Anybody else have any discussion on this?
No.
Do a roll call vote?
Plath,
Yes.
Nat,
Yes.
Wactor,
Yes.
Stecker,
This is for my motion, right, Melissa?
yes.
Right.
Correct.
Okay, so yes,
Okay, Jarks,
Yes. And again, the motion was not to sign,
Right.
to make it clear.
yeah, I just thought I'd check with that since we had technical difficulties there.
Yep. No, thank you. Get a chance to get caught up here. You're gonna take this job permanently, or?
That came out fast.
I'll be darned. Did we get a
I
name?
think it's Dave's Tammy,
Um,
wonders why she
Andy
is
Aaron.
taking,
ran for it.
had resigned, so,
Okay, Andy's his son?
yes.
Okay. I have?
Yeah, Roger, on that, I had gotten a call from Rod Benkin this morning, and I see that Andy Marin's listed in there, so I'm good with that, but
Okay,
for the auditor's office, Rod's willing to, if the next one resigns or whatever, he said he was interested and willing to.
okay.
Okay, I'll give that note to Marge.
Perfect, thanks, Melissa.
Yep,
I will need a motion to approve Andy Marin as trustee for Ramsey Township on the 10th day of January 2023 to fill the vacancy.
I'd make that motion, Roger.
I have a motion by Mr. Stecker.
I'll second it.
Who's that?
Myself. Yep, I'll second it.
Nat.
Yeah.
I gotta get used to calling you Nat. I have a motion and a second on the floor. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carried unanimous.
We have 5 minutes, can we?
Yep, I'm gonna go to the bathroom.
Yes, we're gonna take a,
Old age and
let's just take,
blood pressure, water flows.
let's just take a 15-minute break.
For me, the biggest thing is you walk out the door and it's like,